Hello, everyone. We'll start into another 2 minutes. Let's see if any other participant they join. Hello, everyone. I think we can start now. So let me introduce me, the first, and then we will take the session forward. So my name is Sandeep. I'm based out of here, Perth, Australia. And this year I moved to Australia from India. And there I was working as a business analyst and the project manager with the Society General, is the French bank. And in the career, I have completed computer science engineering. I was working 3.5 years as a software engineer. Then I moved to Symbiosis Pune. I completed my MBA finance and marketing. Then I joined here Society General and I was working as a business analyst and project manager. Now, in the freelance, if you know me through the multiple posts or the LinkedIn, then you know more, about me like last 4 to 5 years, I'm doing this thing. So as a freelancer or the consultant, I work with multiple consultancies across the globe where we prepare the candidate for the business analyst, the project manager, and these type of the roles and help them to do the career transition and these kind of other things. Now, time to time, I conduct few free sessions. So people, because I keep receiving the requests through the Facebook and the LinkedIn, like they really want to do these type of the things, or whether it is a worth to give a try for this career transition or not. So can we have something kind of which can help them, like what are the things are required to be a business analyst, or whether those skill set are matching with the skill set you have, can you reuse them, the experience which you have, or is really something the totally different out of your scope which you can't bridge. So sometime they are confused, and that's why I decided every year 3-4 session I conduct these type of the things. And last year we had into December, and this year also we are having now. So that is the plan. Now next 6 to 7 days we are going to have these classes, almost 1.5 hour classes. And tomorrow I will split you guys into the group, because every day I'll be giving some of the group activities which you have to plan. So that is the another thing. Feel free to ask any question. Okay, this is for you only. Ask any question. I'll try to help as much as I can. Try to utilize these 7 days if you have any concern, queries, and let's make the best out of it, everyone. Now maybe you can start first with the introduction, and just with the name and your expectation from the course, and what you are looking into, let's say the career change, or what are things you need maybe quickly in next 5 to 10 minutes, and then we will start the content. So maybe you can start from the alphabetical order. You can see the content, like Adelie, you can start, please.
Okay, my name is Emma. I'm a new business analyst.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to learning more because I just got a new job.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm open to learn more just
Okay.
for a clearer understanding here.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Next one, Arvind.
Yeah, hi Sandeep. I'm Arvind here. Uh, I'm looking for transition into like business analyst from BPO industry, like from quality analyst. So I'm looking forward to get skills into business analyst
Yeah,
where I can transition my career.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Welcome. Next, I think we have Deepika. Yes, please.
Hello guys, this is Deepika. Actually, I'm fresher now and I want to do my career as a business analyst.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Welcome. Hinal.
Hello, I'm here. I'm just looking for the knowledge.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Then we have somebody with the iPhone. I don't know if you can put your name. That will be good.
Hey, hello. I am Mani, and I'm just here to learn more about the business analyst.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. And then we have next candidate, Kapoor.
Hi, my name is Puneet Kapoor. I'm just trying to learn a new skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice to talk to you.
Okay, it will be good if you guys can, highlight the background so, others can understand, like, the type of the participant and all those, because I'll split into the group so you can, it will be beneficial. Okay. We have next Nibidita. Yes, please.
Yeah, hi. So I'm looking forward to a transition from digital marketing execute. I was working as a digital marketing executive since 2 years. So I'm looking for a transition to business analyst.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome. Next we have Nimis.
Hello, yes, my name is Ramesh. So I just want to learn the things what is going for me business analyst.
Yeah.
So that is why I'm here. That's it.
Okay. Welcome. Next we have Pragati.
Hi everyone. I am Pragati. I have just moved from development to business analyst. I just got a project, so I wanted to learn more on real time experience. I got trained. I took a training on business analyst, but still, I wanted to get more hands on real time experience.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Welcome. Next we have Pranil.
Hi everyone, I'm Pranil. I have 3 years of experience in manufacturing industries, electrical industry, and now I'm looking for a career transition into business analyst. I worked as a business development manager, so I used to use all this skill for to bridge the gap and utilize into the business analyst role.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome. Next we have Stuti. Yeah.
Hi everyone. So Stuti this side. I've been working as a software developer for the past 2 years, and with this course, I actually aim to pivot into business analyst as soon as possible. So I'm looking forward to this course. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Welcome. Next we have Tess iPhone. Yeah. Please. It's good to write the name, right? So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. The name is Star. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm currently driving, so I'll just ignore the noise, please.
Yeah. That's okay. No issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to
Hi
say?
everyone, my name is Romarita, and I'm looking to get more hands-on training on business analyst,
Yeah.
as well as to do a career change. So that's why I'm currently joining the session.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Next we have Vandana.
Hi, I have a business analyst experience for 4 years. I lost my job in January, so looking for the job, and thought this course will help me to refresh some of my skills.
Okay. Don't worry. It'll work out. Next we have Viren, I think. Yeah. Sorry if I can't pronounce properly. Viren.
Yes, correct. Yeah, hi. Hi, this is Viren Call.
Yeah.
This side, I'm senior business analyst lead, working with Ecolite Digital right now. And I have total 8.5 years of experience, and I'm also MBA from Symbiosis Pune.
Okay.
Just here to
Learn
new things.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Welcome. Next we have Vikas.
Hello everyone, my name is Vikas. I also worked as a business analyst, but in a different domain altogether. Actually, I'm like preparing for an IT business analyst. That was the main reason. I just was trying to search some options available.
Okay.
So yeah, that's I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Welcome. Next we have Yes.
Hello, hello everyone. Hello, sir.
Okay.
So basically, I am a very recent graduate of 2023, last month pass out. Before this, I have done a 2 months internship at CyberCell Pune and at L&T Infotech as a data science intern. And I'm looking day by day to enrich my knowledge in Excel myself and practically so that in coming 3 to 4 years, I look myself to become a data scientist. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, welcome. Just call me Sandeep. Okay, no sir, no ma'am. Just call me Sandeep. That's good. That's fine. Anyone else pending here? Maybe who joined later, or please feel free to introduce yourself, and then we'll start. Maybe I think Sana. I think you joined late, so maybe if you can introduce yourself, or Srini. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Now I'll share my screen and let's say let's focus on to the content, which is important. So now what happens like please don't try to the misuse the thing in the past. Even if you see the group also, the people who are already into the group, people started posting the irrelevant the content. Sometime the pornographic the audios, videos, those kind of this stuff. Don't do that. Other people, let's say they started the recording the session, and in the group some of the candidates that told like they started selling the session with the recording, the notes and all those they found. Please don't do that. It's not helpful. Now tomorrow I'll divide you guys into the group. How we will work: almost 1 hour I'll take the session. Next 30 minutes I will give you guys to opportunity to present the task which I am giving to you. So let's say for example, if I give any task to you today, you are divided into the group, and let's say if we have 4 different group with five different the candidates, I will see how many people are there. Then every group we will have almost 5 to 10 minutes of the time, and that particular task as a group you will decide, so you can interact with the other people. Because in the market, not only the skill set which you have, it is important, the networking also, and equally kind of the important. Now if all of you are into the same boat, you want to learn together and you want to improve this particular the kind of the skill set, why not learn it together, help each other, and the share the content which you have. Maybe some of the time you have one position and another guy have the relevant experience, but you don't have the relevant experience, just try to refer them, right? So that way you will get the global community to interact with the people. Please be on time, complete the assignment on time. During the workshop, ask the relevant question. You can stop me anytime, but it should be the relevant to the session, because we need to respect the other people times, right? Follow the instruction, whatever we are discussing, and then discuss any career challenge with me. I'll try to help them, because this is the time, this is the platform you should utilize. Okay. Now, in the introduction part, this you should prepare yourself. What is your education backgrounds or the experience? What are the kind of the goals which you are expecting? I think we discussed any problems, obstacle you are dealing, and maybe what are the steps you have taken. Now let me summarize this part. So most of the time, what happens like people say, okay, I'm from a different background. Sandeep, is it possible for me to do the career transition? If you see some of the people we have from digital marketing, from the dev, the background, just fresh out of the college, and somebody have, let's say, other sales experience, operation experience, these type of the candidate. Most of the time, people take the career the break due to any reason. Maybe they are shifted from location A to B, or due to the family, or due to health reason, or whatever the reason, and they take the break, and then they again trying to join the workforce. Now the BA role is the straightforward. Anybody can be a BA provided you have the enough the or the proper qualification. Now most of the time what happens, at least the graduation level qualification they expect, whether it is India, US, Australia, Canada, and all those type of the scenario, you should be a graduate by minimum. Now, it is not mandatory like by default you should have a technical background. Without that also people, they are, the becoming, provided you have the given skill set which is required to perform the job as a BA. And that's what we are going to focus. What are those skill set or the tool which can help you to learn the BA in a better way, so you can get kind of, the at least not in depth, maybe the overview of the knowledge or the skill set, right? So that's what we are going to do. Now, coming to the definition part of this is the straightforward. Let me explain you a scenario. So now in any organization today, they do a core business activity and then the other supporting activities to run the organization. So for example, if you take the example of Citibank, now Citibank is a financial institution, is the financial global, the MNC bank. Their main core activities or the business is to provide the financial services to their client. Now those client can be retail banking, like the normal regular customer, for example, saving account, car loan, home loan, like that. Or they can be corporate financial services like merger, acquisition, IPO, these kind of the things. Now that is the core business activity of the Citibank. But now there are supporting function. HR is there one, IT is the one, support is the one, sales, and maybe let's say compliance, legal, operation. These are the supporting function to perform the core business activity of this Citibank organization. Okay. Now, once you join the organization, you will be part of the IT function or the IT department if you are targeting the IT business analyst role. Now, what happens if tomorrow Citibank want to develop, let's say, a trading or investment platform? Now, there are two options for the Citibank. Either they can give this instruction or this requirement to the internal IT team, which is there, and ask them to develop a software application so the people across the globe, they can trade into the global markets, whether it is NSE, BSE, or New York Stock Exchange, London Stock Exchange, whatever the stock exchanges, they can trade across these different stock exchanges using this platform. And that is the requirement. At this moment, we are not going to go into the detail, like how actually the functionality will work, because that's not the agenda. Now we are trying to understand how the BA comes into picture, right? So this is the one way they can ask the internal department to, the complete this particular requirement, but it has limitation. Maybe the internal department, they don't have the resources to develop the application. They don't have the time to kind of, the implement this functionality and all those. So what Citibank can do, they can outsource the functionality from some of the consulting organization. Let's say Accenture is a global consulting, Infosys is a consulting, TCS is a consulting, these type of the organization. So what they do, they will help the Citibank to implement this particular platform. And that's where the BA will come into picture. So you need to understand the business part. That means you need to understand what is the requirement to implement a trading platform, like how the trade will come, how, let's say, the settlement will happen, how, the payment, or let's say the kind of, the reports and all those things will be generated. So you need to understand that is the business part, that is the core business activity which Citibank is doing. At the same time, you need to tell the same requirement to the development team so they can create a software functionality as per the requirement your business team is giving. So you have the IT team, you have the business team, and in between, that's where you are coming as a BA. Now, being a BA is a beneficial for you because you directly can work with the Citibank in their IT team if they are directly hiring the BA. That's where I was working with the Society General. It's the direct French bank, and we were working into the IT. Or you can work with the TCS also as a business analyst, and then you are from the IT team, you interact with the Citibank business team and understand those requirements, tell your engineers, and they will implement those parts, right? So that's basically you come as a bridge between these two different teams and try to understand the requirement so you can implement the functionality or the features, right? Any question up to here?
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Trini here. So you have reasonably a good experience on the BA, which I have transitioned. So I have a question in terms of what you just been highlighting. Thanks for that intro. Now, the typical I would say real time challenges that we will be facing us BA, yes, he's well versed in the functionality that you have been saying. It's just on a investment platform domain.
Yeah.
But a technical guy whom he needs to translate the requirements so that he develops it may not be well versed. So there is always a gap.
Yeah.
Because the technical guys, either they are fresher or they don't have much of an experience to grasp
Yeah.
the functionality that needs to be developed.
Yeah.
So it goes for a toss. Now,
Yeah.
how do we handle this?
Yeah. So two things here, because if let's say somebody we call as a domain part of it, which is the functionality or the domain knowledge, if they are lagging. Let's say if somebody just fresh out of the college, they don't understand how the trade works or how the wealth management that application work. And first of all, they will not even understand how the Citibank work, because they are just the fresher. They never been into that type of the financial industry or that type of the environment. So that's where the product owner is there, because once anybody start, they will not be giving them the lead position or something. They will be just starting the associate business analyst or the business analyst working along with the product owner. So product owner, he or she will be guiding those type of the domain expertise or the functional the requirement. And somebody who is starting just the BA will be helping them with the documentation or with the guidance from the PO. Another part here comes into the SME, we call subject matter expert. Now, those guys are appointed by the Citibank, if we consider this example, and they will be well versed into that particular domain which we are developing the software. Because let's say if it is an accounting software, then you don't have to be accountant to understand all those regulation, which particular regulation you goes is the accounting standard you should follow, and those, because that SME or subject matter expert guy is there to tell you. And your part is just to document those things, make sure they are properly converted into the technical aspect of it, which can help you again, your product owner on your technical team, because it's the collaborative environment. It's not like you are there and you just write something and then there is nobody to review or approve and all those things, because they will also understand like this guy is new and we can't hand over everything to the him or her, and there are enough people to guide you throughout the process. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. No, yeah, but the reality is, they're not having a bandwidth. So
That's the issue.
actually, organizations are not hiring the right folks.
That we
So
can't
that's
do
where the yeah.
that we can't do anything, because there's always gap, because
Yeah. That's what I was. Yeah.
that
You
we
go
can't
ahead. Yeah.
do. Because for example, if people are not hiring the right candidate, we can't do anything. They
Right.
are doing the sit job, the HR people, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. So for example, if you just see like three major area, there might be other areas also, I just highlighted here. For example, analysis or visualization, that doesn't mean like you have to do the extensive set of the data analysis. Now the another confusion here, most of the time I receive like I'm planning to do become a business analyst. Do I need to learn the R or let's say the Python, because I need to do the data analysis and all those. Now, to be clear, this is the business analyst, the IT business analyst role, which we are, discussing. That means you will be helping the team to develop the software application. This is not the data analyst or the data scientist role, which you are aiming. So, because there is a big difference. If you are planning for the data analyst role, then you have to be well versed with the technical aspect mostly. That means you should be familiar with, let's say, the data visualization tool extensive, the Power BI, Tableau, the R, the Python, the SAS, these are type of the things. But if you are planning for the IT business analyst, this part which we are discussing, then you don't require these programming skill at all. Maybe you need the SQL, which anyway we are going to have one of the session, and you will understand this is pretty much easy, right? So don't confuse like it's the data analyst or business analyst. What tool should I learn? What tool should I, should not focus on all those things, because learning is important, but what you need to learn, that also equally important, right? You don't have entire your life to keep learning and keep applying for the job. So the point here, if you are planning for this BA, then your major focus will be on to understanding the problem statement. What is the problem actually? How you can convert those into the requirement documents. Now those requirement documents we'll discuss, whether it is a BRD, FRD, or it is a user story or functional document, technical document, what all, we'll discuss them one of the session. Now the stakeholder, when we call these stakeholder, can be internal or external, right? So if you are working into the team, you have product owner, you have software engineer, you have the QA, you have marketing guys, and all those are the internal people for you. Now, once you have the external people, let's say the client is there, maybe some other regulatory body is there, maybe your sponsor is there, okay, maybe the end user is there. So those becomes your external stakeholders. Now, BA, your most of the time it goes into the communication with them. That means you will be having a lot of meetings with them. So if you are someone who is not good into, let's say, the talking or interacting with the people, then I would say you start doing it now. And how you can do that? Talk to the people. Easier. Talk to the people, talk to the stranger if you are not somebody like that. Another thing you can do, have an audio recording app in your phone and start going through the interview question related to the business analyst and record them. Listen yourself how you are responding to that particular question which is asked to you during the interview. So what will happen? You will improve your speaking part as at the same time you are preparing for the interview also. So double benefit for you, right? So try doing things. Now, few of the things here, let's say communication with client, technical requirements, interviewing stakeholders is the same story which we discussed as of now. Now, these are the few part, or we can say the jobs which you will be doing from end to end. So let's say somebody will say, okay, prepare the requirement documents. Now, what are things goes? BRD, FRD, user story, user guide, stakeholder presentation, the demo, the user guide. These are the type of the things you need to prepare. Another thing, you should understand the methodology. That means whether you are following the agile, waterfall, V model, and all those things. Now, for the people who are not familiar, what is the methodology like? This is the process which you are going to follow to develop the software. So for example, if somebody asks you, okay, how you will prepare the butter chicken, which is my favorite. So what you will do, you will say, okay, first we need to identify what are the recipes we need. Then from where we can procure those things. And then what is the, the step 1, step 2, step 3, and who is going to monitor us. And once we prepare, directly we serve to the guest, or first we will do the test and then we serve it. So it's the entire process which you need to follow. The same things goes here. What are the best practice to develop the requirement which you just receive from the client or the stakeholders, right? Because there can be multiple way, and there may be the different approach which the taken by the different teams. But what is the best approach? Is there any standard approach which is recommended by the any organization or across the globe? Because tomorrow you can work into a MNC environment and they should follow a standard, regulated, and that type of the approach. So you need to understand them. So tomorrow we have a session on to Agile and Scrum, and then you will understand, okay, this is the, one of the approach or the methodology people are following today to develop the software application. Now, cross-team collaboration, we already discussed, and then few of the tool we should know, let's say Jira, Confluence, UML, SQL, MS Visio, these type of the things. So we will see few of them, and then you'll get an idea how you can use them. Now, another confusion comes with the candidate when they apply for the role. They'll say, okay, I study the business analyst, but they are asking the system analyst. Yes, they are different. They are not exactly the same, but still you can apply for this position. They are saying, okay, they are asking the business architect, they are asking the management consultant, intelligence consultant, business system analyst, should I apply or not? So just go through this link I'll provide. And in this link, they are saying there are 40 plus such roles which are equivalent to the role. But thanks to these HR people, they created these different job title. Now, sometimes it depends on to the organization also. Some organization, they'll say, okay, we don't have the business analyst, but we call that as a IT business analyst. So that's okay. Okay. So you just, don't worry about if they are calling with some other name. Pranil, you have any question?
Sandeep, are all these are the part of a Scrum team?
Scrum team, if you ask, Scrum team is straight away as per the definition. If you go, we have the product owner, the tech team, and the Scrum master. There's a nowhere they mention like the business analyst is the part of that. But what we suggest, like, because when you are talking the product owner, by default, the BA is coming along with that. So in a sense, you can say yes, but if you go through the Scrum organization and those guys, they are not including that. They are saying the product owner, the Scrum master, and the tech team, which cover your, the software engineers, QA, and all those guys. So by definition, you will not find it. But what we suggest, let's say when you are talking, the PO is there. So anyway, the BA is coming as a proxy product owner or working along with PO. So you can say in a sense, yes, they are part of the Scrum team.
So business analyst give the commands to the Scrum master that what are the things has to be changed into the software, or like a Scrum team will give the such kind of commands, or is it vice versa?
What about command? You mean the requirement?
Requirements and everything, yes.
Yeah. So two things here. If let's say you don't have the product owner, because the requirement will come from the product owner. Okay. Maybe other people might not understand. So product owner is the person who he or she is in the direct interaction with the client. So they will receive the requirement and then you work along with the product owner, make sure those requirements are properly groomed, refined, they are properly documented, they converted into the technical aspect. I think Srini, you were mentioning, and then hand over those things to the Scrum team. Now, how much they can deliver, that is a separate discussion, like how much they can deliver, what is the priority, that again come from the PO and the, let's say, the client, what they are expecting into next release, next 3 months, then next quarter or like that. So, product owner will create this user stories if they are following the Scrum or Agile. Otherwise, they create, let's say, the requirement document, again, prepared by the BA, review by the PO, and then hand over those things as per the roadmap to the Scrum team or, whatever your team, if you are not following the Scrum. So you can say in a sense, but that is the sequence. So first the client will come, then you have the PO, then you have the BA. But what happens if you don't have the PO? Then directly BA will be touched with the client to understand the requirement and hand over those requirements to the Scrum team if you are following the Scrum. If you are not following the Scrum waterfall, then in a requirement documents and those type of scenario. Okay. Does it answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the next thing, what you have to do, if you check the business analyst job description, then these are the type of the things you should capture, like what do the system analysts do, and how they do it, what are the contribution they do. Now all those things will be covered into this scenario. So for example, everything start with the problem statement. The moment you have the problem statement, let's say you want to develop a food delivery app. Now, what was the problem statement? Problem statement, people are lazy. They don't want to go outside and they want to explore the multiple option into the city. They want to compare the most kind of, the like food into the city nearest, and as per the budget and availability. If it's not a good day, they don't want to go out. They still want to order the food. So those are the problems, things people identify, and they created a aggregator platform to bridge the gap between the restaurant and to the end user, or the, let's say, the consumer. They created something, for example, Zomato or Uber Eats. Now that is the platform. It is bridging the restaurant and the, let's say, the consumer. And that's how, they identify the problem and how we can resolve that. And for that, you will implement the multiple requirements, and that's where the requirement comes. So you will say, we will have one of the requirement which will onboard all the restaurant available into the city. Now you write the detail. When you say the city, then how you want to, search the restaurant, whether through the restaurant name or through the zip code, or let's say distance. So again, these are your sub requirements, or you can say the functional requirements they become. Okay. Now you can say, okay, we want to do the tie up with the, let's say, the payment, any payment aggregator. So people, they can make the online payment while buying any food item through this particular app from this particular restaurant. So that is the functionality or the feature you are integrating into your application. Now this become your another requirement. And that's where your role comes, to understand those requirements. And then you understand with, let's say, from the client point of view, if somebody is giving the instruction, or you discuss with the product owner, you refine those requirements, convert into the documents, and then, take ready. So those are the things you need to understand when you have the problem statement and all those. Now, what are the first tasks you have to do? Create or update your LinkedIn profile. If you don't have one, start doing it now. Okay. So create your LinkedIn profile. Start to follow these 10-15 different recruiter into the country where you live, because those are the people, they keep posting the business analyst requirement. Okay. Then what you will do, you will understand, okay, what these guys they are asking, and you will see there is a similar kind of, the pattern which they follow. They'll say, okay, we need somebody with Scrum knowledge. We need somebody with the functional testing. We need somebody with the UML design or BPN modeling, those type of the experience. Now, what you have to do, once you identify, okay, these are the 10 different job description, and now 2 of the skill set which are same, now this third is different, now fourth is different. You make a list of all those skill set. And now that is your target area which you need to study. You don't have to study a lot of things. And now what we cover here, because it's like only 6-7 days, I can't cover all of them, but we'll try to cover as much as we can. And then you understand these are the doable things. Just you need the proper process and the proper structure where you need to focus. And then you understand these are the doable things anybody can do. Then you will be in a better position to apply for the job. And even you receive the call, you will be in a better position to clear those interviews. Yes, Srini?
Sandeep, I have one question.
Yeah.
Like I have seen most of the articles and blogs and everywhere
Yeah.
that the domain mostly where the ITBA
Yeah.
is used, ITBA is working.
Yeah.
So in that, mostly the finance, healthcare, and other e-commerce sectors are mostly generally they are more in use. So when it comes to the different industry, like sometimes when it comes to the manufacturing,
Yeah.
real estate, or automobile,
Yeah.
so I don't have that kind of domain knowledge for the finance or healthcare.
Yeah.
Okay, so and people require a subject matter expert in the particular domain.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the job description,
Yeah.
how I can correlate my experience, my manufacturing experience to the finance,
Yeah.
because I don't have a prior experience into that.
Yeah.
So whether they will going to consider my candidature or not, that
Yeah.
is my question.
It's very genuine question, and most of the time I have this question, especially from India. There are multiple candidates. If you want to talk to them, they done the transition from a very different sector to a completely, the new kind of, the domain. I've seen the people who, and they were my candidate, they have done from sales or marketing to the BA. They have switched from, the selling the credit card into some of the bank to becoming again, the IT BA, this kind of the scenario. Now, in your scenario, because let's say two things. Once you starting as a just the fresher, some of the candidate, let's say you don't have the experience, then for you, it doesn't matter which domain you are starting, and people will consider you, because for the entry level position, they are not expecting you as a master to into that domain. So that is the one part. Another part, let's say once you have 7-8 years of experience, if in your scenario you have, let's say, experience to manufacturing, that manufacturing can be, let's say, automobile or electrical, or let's say FMCG or anything. Now the question comes how you can use this experience, 7 to 8 year of experience, because now two options for you. Either you just go as a fresher, but you'll not be getting the salary which can, the match your requirement, because you are a senior person now. So in your case, what you have to do, you need to create the projects, or you need to create your resume in such a way, like, those skill set which is required, but your project is showing like, I was working into, let's say, the FMCG, but I was involved into, developing those automation software related to the tracking of the FMCG products. Or I was involved into, let's say, human resource management, which was one of the application which is being used into our warehouse, even though you have the warehouse experience, or, something related to inventory management, supply chain, or like that. There are application. You take the example of, let's say, the FedEx, Amazon, what these guys do. They have the software application. So how you can make sure like you have done that software, not from the use case point of view, because once you are working into the industry, now you are a user, you are using that application. But what we are teaching here now, once you become the BA, you will be developing that software. So that mindset, that transition, you have to first you observe, then the same thing your skill set should match, and which you have to learn, because you don't know how the scrum work, how the requirement work, which can be learned. This is the easiest part. Then your resume should reflect those things. And then if you are able to match all those things, then the recruiter will call you and they will say, okay, you have done the supply chain software related to this organization, because today every company, they have the BA, every company have the IT department. So there's no question like somebody say, okay, I'm working into the FedEx, can I be a BA? Yes, why not? Can I'm working into, let's say, maybe Unilever, it is a FMCG company, can I be BA? Yes, Unilever has a IT team in India. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say?
Yes, Sandeep. Or can we do a separate online domain courses like to understand the terminologies and keywords used in
So
the
you can
finance
do that.
department or the healthcare?
You can do that, but for the moment, when you are doing the transition, I would not suggest that you focus on to the domain, because when you are saying domain, that means people are expecting you to be expert into that area. If you are saying, okay, I'm a Salesforce business analyst with 8 years of experience and from the manufacturing industry, Now they are expecting you to be expert into that particular domain. If you are saying, okay, I'm a capital market expert into this particular with 8 years of experience, then their expectation will arise. So you can say, maybe I have done these type of the different things, and domain is a separate discussion. Just when you are doing the transition, it is not a point which will decrease your chances for the business analyst transition from a non-IT to IT background. So for the moment, when you are doing the transition, there is no point focusing on this. But the question comes when you already having the enough experience as a BA, okay, as a normal BA, not related to a domain. Now you are trying to grow into your career and you are trying to have, let's say, more salary or growth. Then you should be an expert into that area, because after a point in time, people will not pay you more salary if you are not expert into that area. Because the same task you can do, a same fresher can also do with 2-3 experience. So why they will pay you like 2 times or 3 times of the salary? So that time you need the expertise. But when you are doing the transition, it's not required.
Yeah, so just to add on to what he was saying, is spot on. So just to add on someone was asking the other question. So how the industry looks at us is, one is the domain BA, which we are discussing. Now it has drilled down to the extent of becoming a product BA, and in that product, in which area or a module you are an expert. So to that extent, the industry expectations will be there once you have transitioned, once you have done the required transition into the domain. So first you start with the domain, you break it down into the respective product, because there are various products in the particular domain. And then from the product perspective, you understand the overall product, and then you get into the respective, say for example, it was retail banking or a corporate banking. I am a corporate banking domain in, say for example, just to give you an example, in trade finance, or other areas in corporate banking. Yes, then in the way in which they look at you will be entirely different. Expectations will be there. Since you have done your due diligence and build an expertise over it, you will be able to deliver better. Is that fine? I'm just trying to add on.
Yep.
Sandeep.
Yeah. So this is the same story. Now I hope you got the idea. So when we are doing the transition, don't worry about the too much, because that is also another the question comes, shall I be because expert into this area and all those, because unnecessarily you are putting too much. First you are trying to do the transition, that means you need to learn the technical part, you need to bridge the experience which you have, and then on top of that you are trying to expert into that area. So you can do if you are a Superman, but I would say take it step by step. Okay, so that is my perspective, but different people, they have different. Now for an example, let's understand the organization quickly. Many of the organization we call as a product or the service or the hybrid organization. That means you can target any of these organization when again you are doing the transition. So I mostly in my career, most of the time I work into, let's say, the product organization. I've seen they have the good work culture, and you can get a chance to own the entire product once you have certain experience. So for example, if you join the Microsoft, let's say they are building the Microsoft team. So Microsoft team is a product, or Windows is a product for them. Okay. And they are doing the enhancement related to that particular product. And you can be, let's say, a product owner or owner of that particular the software application after a point in time. So now it give you the stability, it give you the proper ownership, or the kind of the recognition, like I'm the kind of the building this entire product, I know in and out, and this type of the scenario. You can join consultancy organization also. Many people, they prefer consultancy. The organization also, they'll say, okay, we'll get the on-site opportunity, we'll get the travel opportunity, we'll work with the international clients and all those. So you have your own different perspective. But the point here, you try to the segregate, like where you want to go. That is very important, because it doesn't matter really if you apply to that 20 different job without even thinking what is this company, what I'm going to get out of it, even if I'm selected. So if you are just just the desperate to get the job, you apply. But if you have some chance to look into it, do the proper the research, and then you apply. So rather than applying 20 jobs and rejecting all of 20 of them, just apply 5 of them. Prepare your resume according to the requirement which they are asking. Just apply 5 of them and then focus on to that. I think that's what I teach the candidate, and that's how they work in an effective manner. But again, we have the different the thought process. So now Another thing happened with this consultancy organization, because they'll be working with the multiple clients, and as soon as their client or the project change, they will ask you again to attend the interview for a new client. So at that time, again, maybe you have to brush up the knowledge again, you have to go through the same process again. Sometime you are selected, sometime you are not selected, and many times you hear like this consultancy, they keep the people onto the bench because they want to show the kind of the people, let's say we have that much workforce, and then we can employ anytime them, but it is your decision purely. You understand like what are the benefits, pros and cons. Every organization, they have their pros and cons. Maybe it is a product or it is a consultancy, but you need to think about where you are going, where you should apply. That is your individual choice. Okay, Stuti, you were saying something.
Yeah. Hi, Sandeep. So, like as you already told about the service company, so currently I'm employed in a service company.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know like how a BA can evolve in these three companies, because primarily now my target is to get into any product company as a BA. So
Yeah.
how can I expect my career to go on and on, like probably transfer it into a managerial role, like
Yeah.
if there is any chance to do it in a product, because as far as I am working in a service company, I have seen like people struggle a bit with getting into the leadership positions with a
Yeah.
BA role. So
Yeah. That's the same thing. If everyone, because see, whatever the topic or the discussion we do here, those comes with the experience or with the discussion. Let's say Stuti, you pointed out this thing, so I learned this point, and the next batch which I teach from the experience. So that's how it works. Now, two things we are highlighting here. First thing you are mentioning, like the transition from service to the product, and another thing you are mentioning to grow as a manager and maybe the senior position or like that. So these are the two things. Now, first you need to see what are the requirement which product companies they are doing the focus. They not only focus onto the process or the knowledge, but they focus onto a particular domain or the sector which you are applying. So for example, if you target, okay, I'll apply to, for example, Adobe. So what are the type of the product which they are offering? Do you have any idea about that? Okay. If you are saying, okay, I have to apply for any insurance organization which they are building the insurance software application across the globe, they are developing that called the platform also can be a product for them, right? So now, do you understand that insurance not in and out, but maybe at some extent, so you can justify, okay, I have this product expertise or the knowledge, which not only I have the technical expertise which anybody can have, but I have this domain expertise. The domain word, again, it comes into picture. So you should understand the sector or the industry which you are going to apply. On some time it happened by luck also. People just do the transition from a service to the domain and any product, and which might not require you to have any kind of domain expertise. But what I've seen, like you should have at least some familiarity with the product or the organization which you are targeting. On top of that, their interview expectation will be high compared to the service organization, because they will grill you like anything. So you should improve your concept. You should improve your understanding. Do the multiple task or assignment or preparation. Take the feedback from the people, because what happens if you attend the interview, you are going to reject there if you don't know how to improve the part. Next time also you reject with the same issue or the concern because you haven't improved that section. So if somebody is there to improve you, let's say your colleague or somebody else, and who can give you feedback like this is the area you are the lagging, writing the user story or writing the, let's say, the design part of it, or maybe let's say the testing part, or maybe let's say the meeting part or coordination part. So now you need to improve those part, because if you are going to apply with a cream organization, then you have to be a cream on that area. Now to grow into the organization again, because once you reach a certain time, 8 year 10 year, you reach, it becomes the stagnant your salary, and that is the issue. So now you should take some other initiative outside of your job. You'll say, okay, there is a woman cell into the organization, can I lead that, can I be part of that? Or there is a hackathon going on, can I work as a the kind of the BA? You need to show the organization like apart from your jobs and responsibilities, there is something else in you, and you are ready to contribute. So that is the things comes into picture once you are internally. So first you need to switch. And then you need to contribute not only the job which you are doing. What I suggest to the candidate, if given you have 8 hours of that day every day, so just allocate maybe let's say 6 hours of the work, and 2 hours you just focus on to improve yourself, learn something new, contribute at a organization at a bigger picture. If you do those things, then I think it help you. Otherwise, you will be, yeah.
Okay. So Sandeep, one thing like this, as I mentioned, working as a software developer,
Yeah.
but in the same company, I am also like trying to act. I mean, I've asked my manager for a role as a project coordinator as such.
Yeah.
So like, will this
Yeah.
help me
Yes.
in any
Yeah.
way
It's help.
to prove
It helps.
like transferable skills or something?
Yeah, it helps because if let's say today you are project coordinator, Stuti, because you have the technical background, now this project coordinator will give you some idea the functional aspect or the managerial aspect. Now you don't know when the other project manager will switch or they will resign. Now immediate option will be available you because they'll say, okay, she is there, she is anyway coordinating that, and so you'll be given the opportunity. So the point here was, without the trying to get some expectation, you should start doing something additional apart from the job duties which you are doing, so that you need to show to the organization. And if you are really mean to the growth, you don't have to ask to the people, you just do the good job. And then you say, okay boss, these are the agenda, because we can talk some different session, because if I keep talking, so the point like you divide, like, okay, this is my the entire year. Now these are the goals related to my job description, these are the goals related to the team, and these are the goals related to the organization. Now you give me the some task which can contribute to that take me to the next level, and then you do the alignment of those your goals, discuss with the manager, and plan for them for the throughout the year, right? So next time when you are going to do, let's say, the year review, you can say, okay, these are the things we plan and I have achieved. So first you do, and then you show like, now what next for me? And if still this organization is not giving you the opportunity, then it's better to leave them and find something else. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Hello, Sandeep.
Yes.
Actually, I wanted to ask one question, which is like, if, as you mentioned, as a business analyst or maybe as a data science or data scientist, even we have very different domains. I mean, let it be manufacturing industry, let it be medical industry, or so on.
Yeah.
So, if as a fresher we
Yeah.
get into, for an example, we get into a medical industry,
Yeah.
and suppose we don't have any domain knowledge initially, but we try to grab it, and with experience, with looking into others, with practically understanding the concepts,
Yeah.
we get solid result day by day.
Yeah.
And what I mean is, if suppose we are, I mean, we have just got a base strong, do you think we should have a long time in that same we should have continue the long duration in that same industry, or for our personal growth and for the organization also? Or do you also suggest that after some time, after a certain age or certain time period, you should switch to another industry? Is it feasible, or is it for personal and both professional growth,
Yeah.
it's better to be in one particular industry for the as much as you could be?
Yeah. So it's very good question. And because let's say I'll try from my experience, maybe there are different views. So the point here, once you are starting as a, let's say, fresher, for you, it is like ocean. You don't know how, the depth and kind of, the breadth, you don't know. It's like entire industry, whether it is a medical, because I started into the IT in the biotechnology industry. The Thermo Fisher I started is a really good MNC into the US. So the point here, you can start with any sector as soon as you are getting a job. That is the first thing for you. Now because you are a kind of is empty canvas, for you the industry can print anything, any picture on you, right? Certain point in time you will explore the area, okay, I like this particular thing but I don't like this other thing. And you will start having the question to yourself whether I really like the medical or whether I really like the finance. When people talk about the finance, do I feel stressed out or do I feel more comfortable rather than talking about gene, DNA, antibodies, or like that? That idea you will get. Now once you receive that, the next part comes into learning that domain for the future. For example, if you are into the healthcare industry, now it's like 2 3 4 years. Now you start thinking, you start questioning, okay, is it good to, all the domains are good, First of all, that is the one point. No domain is the, the better or good. People, they are making millions into, let's say, supply chain also, and people are, the kind of broke into financial also. So all the domains are good in
Yes,
that.
sir.
It is important, like what is your interest. That's what I always focus. What you really like to
Yes,
doing,
sir.
right? That is the thing.
So
And
what I believe is like, sir. So what I believe is like, sir, if there is any particular domain and we are very much suitable and comfortable with it,
yeah,
and so we should make ourselves the best in the same. I mean,
yeah,
if you want to excel, the main thing is to be an expert in that particular field. That's the only thing we could get the most of it, the most ROI.
now
So I think particularly, what's your intake on this? And also, I mean, as I said, like after a certain age, do you think we should only stay in that particular same industry if it comforts us, if it suits us, or is
it's
there
not
something
like
as a
that.
BA to switch?
It's not like that. And another thing, why? Because there are, it is an individual question. Yes, because people, let's say, they work into 10-15 year into, let's say, manufacturing, and suddenly after 10 years they switch into in some managerial position into, let's say, the airline industry, or the aerospace industry. And you go through, what is the best way? Go through the LinkedIn, see the people who are, let's say, MD, director, senior manager, and see the career trajectory which they have played. Now people can argue, okay, they have
Yes,
done
sir.
10 year, 20 year back, and now might be the scenario have changed. That's okay. But it is fully flexible. And let's say what I'm saying, why I'm saying, because let's say in here, Australia, it's really doesn't matter. People here, they're working into, let's say, construction industry, and suddenly they come into the IT industry and they are doing well. And after IT industry, they move into the hospitality or manufacturing industry, and there also they are doing well into the managerial position and all those. It all depends what skill set you have and how you are going to utilize them. Industry or sector, yes, the core business which I was saying, yes, it is a different, but how you are going to contribute into the leadership or the management, because your entire life you are not going to be a BA. So don't do too much planning at
Right.
this point. Just start with something. Try to ask the question, that is something really related to me, or I am being for something else. That moment you have the answer, try to do switch. If not, then still doing the same thing.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And also, sir, as you mentioned, like in Australia, as you are saying, like people from construction come to a managerial role, and so, and that's another thing. But in India, we see there are so many managerial and directors over here,
Yeah,
which have no particular, I mean, not any theoretical, no any college or
yeah.
standard degree background also, but they have become directors of the company with their own intellectual and capability. So I believe, yeah, as you said, it's upon and every individual itself.
Yeah, individual, and don't focus too much, because let's say what they have done 20 year back, it might not be applicable to the next 20 year which we are planning for our career, right? So what best you can do, learn whatever you can from the others, from the organization, from your time. Try to utilize that, and then do the planning, but not too much planning. Because why I'm saying, because after COVID, I have seen like no planning matter, and that changed my perspective entirely, right? So I've seen the people who are just, the 25 year, 30 year, and I lost them as a colleague. So you don't have to do too much
Yes,
planning.
sir.
Focus on to the thing what is in your hand, enjoy your life, and then do the things which you can. Don't worry what is not in your
Right,
hand.
sir.
Okay, now that's fine. Now let's say, Romeric, you have any question? Okay, no, then I'll mute.
So that is interesting. Finally, as you said, so do what you can do, which is in your hand, and enjoy your life.
Yeah.
That is not happening. Somewhere down the line, people are all grapple with,
Yeah,
what if scenarios, and then get
yeah,
bogged down, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks.
So don't worry too much, because this life.
Yeah. Don't worry. Do what is it in your hand? Yeah.
Yeah. So now let's say, project manager, for example, these are the, the different role. Because let's say the people who are not familiar, you should understand like who will be your colleague when you join the organization, right? So you'll be having, let's say, project manager is there, product manager is there, business analyst is there, quality analyst, software engineer, architect, release, DevOps. These are the, the different people. And we have the kind of, the structure and all those I've taken from Google or like that. So what happens here, let's say you have the customer or the client, The product owner, we already discussed, like they will be into direct touch with the stakeholder and the customer. And then that's where, we have, let's say, the Scrum team, they are taking outside the product owner, but that also part of that Scrum team. Now the BA, you will interact with the dev team, you interact with the Scrum team, and then you interact with the PA and all those. Now, if they are saying, okay, PO will interact with the Scrum master or the dev team, yes, there's no restriction, no boundary, but it's just the illustration, right? So anybody can interact with anyone. It's like that. So, but you get some idea, like, BA will interact with the PO, and then he or she will interact again with the dev team, the software engineers who are working. Then you have the Scrum master to make sure the best practices are followed through the development cycle. And then, these kind of things. The QA people, they will do the verification of the software. The moment your requirements are filled, how can we make sure like they are, the matching the requirements which you have written? So for example, this is a software. Now the requirement is here. The moment you click onto this icon, a blank document should open a new tab. That is a requirement, right? Now you given this instruction into the, the writing some documents or the user story. If you don't understand, that's fine. Let's say this is the requirement instruction you given to the software engineers, they develop. Now QA will come here and will check, okay, what was written into that document and whether this functionality is really working as per that document or not. If it's not working, they'll say, okay, there is a bug and this application is not working, so you need to fix it. And that's what these guys, they do. Software engineer, they are the brain behind the application. And I really love these people, because if they are not there, all this nonsense will not be there. No BA, no PO, no kind of, the manager and all those. Because these are the people, they are the really cook. They are cooking the dishes there, right? So they will code the application. They will give the birth to that application with the requirement you have given. Otherwise, it will be on the paper. Now, the architect, these people, they can be technical and the functional. If they are really technical, then they focus on to the in-depth, the technical analysis and the design part. So they will say, okay, we are going to build a cloud application, but shall we use the AWS cloud or shall we go with the Azure cloud? What are the features is AWS providing? If you don't understand, these are the cloud provider, the service provider. Okay. So they will analyze them, which particular database we are going to use, whether it is a MySQL database. So we'll say with a NoSQL database, or, the SQL database, it is a kind of, the MongoDB, or let's say Postgre, what is matching our requirement. So those technical people, they focus more into the technical analysis and then putting everything onto the paper. Okay. And then you just search it, like, the technical architecture of the project into the Google, and they will see what are the things, they can design. Now, some organization, functional architect also, the BA, they call as a functional architect, or once you are a senior BA, they call you as a functional architect. Because now you have the domain expertise. Now you understand the business. Now you understand the technical aspect, like what are things you need to implement in order to fulfill those requirements. So you will be helping them with the functional design of it, which we'll discuss into one of the class, right? So that's where these people comes. The release and DevOps, these are the people, let's say you develop the application. I'm a software engineer. I develop these 3 features. Now that coding is into the my system. Let's say I have written 100 line for this, 200 line for this, 300 line of this. So total 600 lines I have written the code. Now this feature is tested, but it is working into my local system. But there are 100 customer outside. But how can I hand over this feature or these application to them? So this is where this release or DevOps, these guys, they comes into picture. That make sure from local repository, if you don't understand repository, I'll explain that. From the local thing to the end user, they are going to deliver this particular feature. So end user can start using that. Now, what is the repository here? So let's say you have a computer system, and in that you have, let's say, C drive. And you created a particular folder. You went for vacation and you will say, okay, it is a vacation, New Year. And then you created a folder, vacation. And all the photos you store into that particular vacation folder. Now you've done some investment, you've done stocks, equity, golds, whatever, real estate, whatever things. And you created another folder into C drive as an investment. And those investment documents you put into that investment documents. Okay. Now, another documents you are doing, let's say the folder is study, and whatever the courses, the certification, or any study material you are having, you are putting into that study folder. So what is happening here? You are organizing all those files based on to the use case. If it is an image, the next time it will go into the image folder. If it is a, let's say, any financial documents or any update into your financial status, you will go into that particular folder and you will put that document into investment folder, and similar goes with the study folder. Now these are the three different repository which you have created. Now same story goes into the coding part. When these guys, they do the code, so they will say, okay, file is a particular one repository, all these codes related to this feature will go into that file repository. Maybe let's say new is a particular new feature, all the code related to the new, it will go into that repository. Now how it helps, let's say next time your product, as per the roadmap, it is coming like you have to release these three feature into production environment. Production environment, if you are not understanding, is the environment where, let's say, a particular login, the credential or the link or access will be given to you. So the end user will access that environment. So if you, let's say, open the Flipkart, this is the production environment, because end user, they can access using this link and those features. Maybe this Flipkart team is building other functionality. Let's say the voice search functionality is not here today into the search. But when they are implementing that voice search functionality, that is there into the local system, the engineer system. And that's where they create these different repository. So tomorrow, if that functionality is required into this production environment here, what they will do, they will send that particular repository code, which is available into the local, to a new repository, which is there for the production, without impacting the other repositories. So similar story. Like if you are updating only the image, your image folder will be impacted, not impacting the investment and the study folder. So you create them separate things. Okay, we'll not discuss too much, otherwise it will be too much technical. And these are things we discuss, like development environment, different environment we call local environment, and the individual system you have, testing environment you have. So for example, you can test the application. What are things? You will be given a separate database, separate URL, separate access. Even if something goes wrong while testing, let's say there are 100 customers data, you are testing and by mistake you deleted them. So that's okay. It is just the testing environment. It is not the production or the final environment which end user they have the data. If let's say the banking system you are testing, real-time user data is there, you deleted them, it's the big mistake, people will fire you. So that's why we have separate environments. Okay, that's all we'll discuss today. Now maybe if you have any question, queries, we can talk. Maybe I'm trying to go sometime too fast because I'm trying to cover too much content for you guys, because when I teach this thing, it take almost 2 months, 2.5 months to cover everything in detail. Okay, but I'm trying to cover whatever we can do, next 5 to 6 days, so you can get some idea what is happening into this BA world. And if you already have an idea, you can brush up your knowledge with some points. Any question we have for today? Else I'll see you guys tomorrow same time.
Yeah, one final question, if you have time, else we can catch up tomorrow.
Yeah, yes, please.
Yeah, so we have been discussing about taking up some additional responsibilities, and then align with what organization is looking at, see where and all you can contribute now. So what typically organizations are trying to look at, say in a BA, they say you also take care of the delivery. Yeah, that is how the organization is, because they are not having a dedicated project manager nor bandwidth, right, to have a project manager and stuff like that, nor the project manager is not that experienced. So that is where the organization is also looking at, just also do your BA role and also take care of the delivery, whatever the delivery. I understand they need to deliver something, but they say you also take care of the delivery issues related to the delivery. So how do we address it?
Yep. So what we are going to cover, and let's say the delivering at the project manager level, that comes at a very last, because let's say most of the people either they try to switch if they don't have experience, or they have some experience just to give some experience at the BA level. So you might not be given the direct opportunity with the delivery, maybe some extent, but the things we will cover here, let's say along with the BA part, the Scrum Master role, which is directly aligned with the QA role, is directly aligned, because once you are saying, okay, I'm going to work as a BA, you will be working into Scrum team most of the time. So you should understand the Scrum Master role, the Scrum activities and all those. So we are going to cover that part also. So you will be working, So tomorrow I'll, cover that Scrum or Agile part. So you can understand, okay, along with the BA, if the people, they are giving you the opportunity to run the show as a Scrum Master, you should be in a good position to take that position. Along with BA, if there is a no QA, and some of the organization they are expecting you to play the role of as a QA, then you should be comfortable to working as a QA also. So one of the class I will explain you the testing. We can discuss about the PO, project management, those are the things, but those are very high level, I would say. At the next level, I can teach you guide if you they're really interested into maybe the one-to-one trainings and all those, but not at this now, because 5-6 days I can't cover all those things. But Scrum Master and the QA, these two role I'll touch upon one day. So you can understand along with the BA, these are also the roles which you can play. So your resume will kind of, the improve. I can only, the not only play the role of BA, but I can also play the role of, let's say, Scrum Master, QA along with that. So it will, they give some more weightage into your profile. Yes, Pranil, you have any question?
Sandeep, suppose if as a fresher, if I pursued a ECBS certification for the entry level business analyst role, so does it give any credibility or it create any kind of edge for me into the resume, so that the recruiter can give me more chances for the like they will screen me for the interview round?
This is also a good question. Now, what happens like most of the time, I see candidate, they are confused with the certification and the learning part. Because today getting the certification is the easiest part, because either you clear or you India and especially, pay somebody 15,000, 20,000 and they will get the certificate for you next day. And there are people. But the point here, the moment you say, okay, I'm a certified ECBA, or like, let's say the entry level, the CBAP and those type of the certification you are putting onto your resume, it will stand out you from rest of the crowd. Definitely it will add some, the weightage into your the resume, but it will increase the expectation also from you. The moment you are saying, okay, I'm a certified CBAP, or, the entry level, the certified business analyst, that means you know everything in detail. And that's how you clear the exam. So your expectation will be increasing. They might ask you a lot of questions.
Because the cost of the certification is also very high, and you get a 2 chance to qualify that exam. Then only you will consider as a certified ECB.
Once you are starting your career, don't worry about the certification. Okay, these certifications are there to validate your expertise once you have. And even some of the certain certification, if you see, they ask, okay, you have at least the working 1 year or 2 year or 3 year, that much full-time experience and all those kind of things they ask, because they are saying you should understand what is happening into the industry, then you come to the write the certificate. And if you are just write the entry level and all those, yes, it is a money making machine for them, so you can write, that's okay. But if you ask me frankly, it's not required. When you are doing your career, first learn the concept, get a job, and then you think now it is time for me to switch the career. And now I don't see any expertise in my resume. Now let's add that particular certification into my resume. So it can give some advantage for me when you are trying to switch that kind of, organization. Because by the time you have the real experience, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, you have made some money. So it's okay. You can pay. Now you are paying from your own pockets. Not a good idea. That's what I could have been done if I've been into your situation. Okay.
Okay, fair enough. Got it.
Yeah.
Hey, Sandeep, this is Vandana here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I guess question or concern about this course or 5-day classes you are planning to take. This is more about like explaining the like different roles, or some you are planning to cover some of the like core skills as well.
Yeah. So what is the question? Sorry.
So I'm asking like this all like 5-day course would be depending like explaining the roles and responsibilities, or you are planning to give us some core skills as
5
well?
days we can't explain the roles and responsibilities. So the point here,
people keep asking the same question, because I thought like this is the like shared understanding.
No, because see what happens, Vandana, because some people, because let's say once it is a group class, I need to take care of everyone, right? For me,
No, it was not about you. I was just trying to understand like the audience as well.
Yeah, no, that's okay, because that's how, because people want to understand, people want to learn, that's why they are asking question, and I always encourage to ask the question. The point which we are going to cover into this, the 5 days, I think I explained in the beginning. This is the first class, so we are trying to understand what BA actually does, how they are relevant, and maybe the transition and all those kind of generic question. The next few days, what we are going to do, every one day, I'm going to take one topic. So let's say today we talk about the responsibilities, the roles, introduction, your introduction, that's part of the story we have done, which is required. We are humans, we need to interact. Tomorrow, what we will do, we will do the Scrum. We will talk about the Scrum because that is the one of the things you need to understand when you work as a BA. Day after tomorrow, we will talk about testing. You need to understand the testing. Then other day, we will talk about the UML design. I will use some of the tool. I will show you how you can create the design, use case diagram, activity diagram, those kind of things. One of the class, one day I'll take the SQL. So you'll understand how the SQL, you can play around. One of the things we will take, let's say, requirement prioritization technique. So one class will take. And then one of the class, I'll explain you about resume, interview, and all those things, right? So I can't do all of things because, as I said, these things entire take me for 2.5 months when I'm training the people. But I try to add something every day so you can get some idea. And then if you are okay, you can do it. If you need help, then come back and then we can do something else. But in 5 days, you can't cover too much, but I'll try to touch everything, small pieces, right?
Okay. I do have a particular question. So I'm working on like one JD and they like read job descriptions.
Yeah.
And one of the things they keep asking, which I see pretty often, is like cloud experience is a big plus, or AWS is preferred.
Yeah.
What kind of like I'm not expecting you to give us all of this knowledge, but what particular kind of thing you think that we can read upon or
So
include in our
just go through
resume,
the
which
standard
can
the
show either
documentation, because
experience?
when they're asking about this cloud, right? Because Vandana, how it happens, like today you are receiving this JD and they are asking the cloud. Tomorrow you will receive another JD and they will ask you about Salesforce. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, you will receive any other JD and they will ask you about ServiceNow or Workday or like that. They will ask capital market, they will ask insurance. You can't learn all those stories. Okay, to be frank, we don't have enough, the time into the life to keep learning and keep doing this thing. It's really nonsense. Now, the point here, you should learn quickly, and you should be agile enough, flexible enough to move to the next one. So if I've been to your situation, what I do, I'll go to, let's say, AWS, Azure. These are the two dominating cloud, the service provider into the industry. I'll see, okay, what are the different 10 services they are providing? What are the, let's say, Amazon EC2 does? And then what are the, let's say, Elastic Cloud Search it does? What are SNSQ is does? I'll try to figure it out. How we can use into financial organization? How can use into insurance organization? What are the pros and cons? I'll make 3-page notes. That's enough for me. Because
I guess my concern was about the cloud was that as a BA, what we should know. Like
because
I
in
have
the
got
BA, because you'll not be too much, because you'll not be implementing the cloud functionality. That's the first thing. So technically, you should not worry like how I will integrate the EC2 cloud service into my application. No, you will understand from the architecture point of view, from the functionality point of view, like what actually EC2 does versus the S3, and in which particular phase or the stage they are coming. Watch some video, read some documents, and that should be enough, because people will not ask you to code that functionality. That is the software engineer's role. Right? So high level, you should
just there is a requirement perspective. We need to know that.
Another thing, you asked this question, why I'm saying it is completely making sense, because let's say they are asking, okay, you should have AWS cloud experience. How many questions you are going to get related to that in interview? Maybe 1 or 2. Now,
actually, the biggest question I get scared of is, do you have experience? And if we have experience, what you have done?
I have.
They never ask for the definition or like, what this does, what you
so what you have to do
what did you do about it?
Yeah, what you have to do, you need to tell the story. So you'll say, yes, I have the experience. In the last application, we were using the EC2 cloud application, which were used to, the store that, the application user data. Then we have another, the kind of, the application which was used. Now, the 2-3 pages of the notes which you have made, those are enough for you to answer this question.
Gotcha.
That's why I'm saying, don't keep learning too much, because see, that is the problem. We don't know how to learn and where to learn and how much, the required, what to learn, what to not learn. That is the biggest mistake. People struggle. And that's where these type of the programs and these things, they help to clear a lot of, the clutter which is there, right?
Correct.
Okay. I think too much. Sometimes I talk too much. Now the point, tomorrow again we will connect same time.